So thank you. And as an animal welfare officer passionate about the experimental design uh, and education, I'm grateful for the opportunity today to present to you our experimental design course, and I hope that I may inspire you with the educational approach we made based on our Dutch educational design strategies, because we think that proper training is a valuable tool in enhancing the quality of experiments, which is especially important if they involve animals. So when papers came out, even in the Dutch press, that animal research findings could be debatable, which is worrying because it sometimes inspires clinical trials which supposedly trustworthy and should therefore be based on trustworthy preclinical research. The UMC Utrecht and the Utrecht University joined forces with the Animal Welfare Body Utrecht to achieve a recovery in the trust in our animal research system. And our way of doing that was to design a course to address this replication crisis, as it is called as well. And our part of addressing this crisis is to aid PhDs in their design of the experiments. But before such a course came to pass, we really engaged researchers to see what would help them to improve. And that composed of field research, followed by brainstorm sessions with scientists and in-depth interviews. And finally, a questionnaire was set out, followed by a think aloud session. And then we really identified where help was needed that could be addressed in our course. And we identified some challenges that we discovered from this extensive field research. And first of all, it is the research culture. It has its own priorities and qualities, and is also a culture of a competitive nature. And second, we found that there's a tremendous difference in the type of training people have received throughout their Master of Sciences, for example, between researchers that work with laboratory animals. And finally, we saw that scientists were actually hesitant to follow another course, which might not directly address their own specific problems they had and encountered in science. So revolving this led us to introduce some concept of connectivism, where we really address all cultural problems that are and barriers that are experienced by researchers and encourage them to use and exchange methods to resolve them. We make, of course, the course fit for purpose, leaving space to start at your own level and work with personalized learning strategies. And finally, we work with a just-in-time basis, teaching you what you need at the time using a strategy that prepares you for the next experiment in a work-based approach. So just-in-time means that you get the information and get the knowledge you need at that exact moment when you are using it. And that relates to today as well, because here is the infographic that was made for this for this open science symposium. And what we do during the course is we aid you in writing your own work protocol. And we try to make the work protocol according to a perfect experimental design. But then the question is, what is perfect? And perfect in this is inspired by learning goals on experimental design developed by the education and training framework involved in this for the European Union and based on current literature, for example, the book made by Michael Festing. And we help you to prepare well and discuss the value of pre-registration and to arrive better or arrive safely. So how do we achieve these goals? So what does the course look like? For that, we have developed a learning journey, and this learning journey helps you to further enhance the knowledge you need to optimize your work protocol in a blended fashion. So that means that we have a knowledge track with online learning material and working sessions to address your working protocol. We help you find your place in the research culture with online dilemmas and supervised community group meeting, where you discuss how you can engage your surroundings to work according to better experimental design. Because in practice, like was also explained by Professor Miedema, sometimes people do not perform according what we're supposed to or know we should perform, and it's turning this around and doing it properly also means convincing, but also means balancing the checks and balances that are involved by changing. And finally, we find out how well you have developed in all these parts by an assessment, which also grants you a 3 ECTS certificate in experimental design. Well, we have run this course twice now, and participants really feel that they are challenged, but they learn a lot on the choices they have to make and what arguments they have to gather that really improve their scientific setup. And they are more aware of actually the choices they are making or have to make to get a proper experimental design. So if you're interested in this, then I really, you can post question now, look at the website at the PhD Post Center, and please sign up for the next course. We will be running a next course in starting the February the 22nd, and it will end somewhere in June, depending on your last assessment, where the latest will be in the 10th of June. Thank you, and if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.